Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. I got into this work because at the age of 18, unfortunately, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today, I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history. I'm proud to be the only Afro-Latino in this race. I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
The final tally of votes, Troy Blackwell, 0.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
And helping people when they need the help. The Democratic Party. Hey, folks. The other side is about fear, fraud, and fascism, but we don't do that in the Democratic Party. I will explain more when we get to that point, but please keep in mind that the vice chair positions will have gender requirements.
Ja, det trasilo. Tkoje glinienisle. To lokaczego do tkodzes jest nasza. Ko betsiish kliji bekeya. Na kostun will yegi ba here danidzen. Welcome. The Democratic National Committee wishes to acknowledge that we gather together to state our values on lands that have been stewarded through many centuries by the ancestors and the descendants of tribal nations who have been here since time immemorial. We honor the communities native to this continent and recognize that our country was built on indigenous lands and hope.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong black women standing before you. 3 black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Te quiero mucho, Papa. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
Look at this room, y'all. Truly take it in. This is the Democratic Party. We are our strongest when we stand together.
We are in a time in this country when our democracy and our rights are under attack. We're at a time where black and brown people, women, and other minorities are being blamed for everything that's wrong with this country.
So let's fight together for a stronger and more inclusive Democratic Party.
Good afternoon, DNC! Let me say something. Over the last several days, we've seen what happens when we have the wrong people in powerful places. And so today, I ask for your support in electing me as your DNC vice chair, because in a time of crisis, leadership matters.
My people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being the last one hired and the first one fired. We are sick and tired of the
And I've spent the last 15 years fighting for the American people, all 340 million of them.
Work to do to organize, show up, and win. And that is why I'm asking the people who have stood with me in this ride, because you know the work that I do to protect the vote.
protest the Republicans.
Fossil fuel stands on fire. I think it's important to say here
here, I think it's important to say here, we respect people's opinions. And it is understandable that there is a lot of passion in this moment.
In this round, so I'm going to, I have a show of hands. How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So that's good. You all passed.
Let's not forget that Black and especially Black women have always been the backbone of our party. We show up for our communities, our party in every election. Yet time and time again, we are overlooked when it comes to the top leadership positions in our party. And now, all 4 of the most powerful positions of the party at the DNC are poised to belong to people of non-color.
The motion as made by the member, Ms. Dorsey, and seconded, is a motion to amend something previously adopted. You adopted the proposed rules yesterday as they had been presented from the Rules and Bylaws Committee. A motion to amend something previously adopted will take 2/3 in the affirmative. The motion that the member made is to reduce all speeches for all candidates to 1 minute.
Folks, I want you to understand that these candidates have been preparing for this moment for a while now. They've drafted speeches, and I understand that you all may want to leave out of here earlier, but it does become inherently unfair for these candidates who've been preparing for this moment because the Rules and Bylaws Committee considered this a few weeks ago. And so as we vote, I just want you all to have that context that a lot of these folks have been working a long time to get to this moment. How much time will we give for a debate?
You want to say 5 minutes?
We'll give 5 minutes on each side. Or 1 minute on each side, since we want 1 minute. We'll do 1 minute on each side. Excuse me, ma'am. 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 Security, please. Ma'am, listen, ma'am. We appreciate your stance. But right now, Donald Trump controls the White House, the Republicans control Congress, and I would invite you to go down the street. In all due respect,
We are going to ask the questions from this stage. There will be a moment where we will take questions from the audience, but I would ask, thank you so much. We appreciate your enthusiasm. We are going to ask the questions from this stage. We'll ask that you please take a seat. We'll ask that you please take a seat. All right, we're going to ask that question. We understand.
Here at home.
Okay. Party, but the other, but.
Can you, okay, hello? Excuse me. Election cycle. You do not. These particular.
And Democrats are still taking money from the arsonists.
Would you have done anything differently? No, I'm sorry. Everyone.
Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a Black woman at this podium.
May the endless, boundless energy of the universe wrap around you with awe and love and well-becoming. Amen, Ashe, Amin, and may we together make it so.
let me assure you, we are in trouble.
Rule of law and the Constitution kicked to the curb, people being rounded up like animals. Military professionals, career people, generals, gripped with fear inside of the walls of our own Pentagon. And the person responsible for all of these offenses against the Republic sits again in the White House and spits on patriot graves. This is a colossal failing of democracy.
The Democratic Party should not be a billionaire-funded corrupt organization. It should be a social justice movement.
There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money, but we're not taking money from those bad billionaires.
I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you who have allowed me to be here, who have listened to me, who've received my words, have understood why I am here. And with that, I, in contribution to what I feel is our best chance to intervene, our best chance to cut the cord with the billionaire-funded corruption that will otherwise obstruct and limit our possibilities, I heartily endorse Ken Martin and hope you will vote for him. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
There are a lot of good billionaires out there.
The change that we need to win is not going to be achieved by tinkering around the edges, nor will it be achieved by turning the Democratic Party over to a handful of billionaires who pull strings from behind curtains and try to walk our elected officials on short leashes like dogs.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds. And we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair. And I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Hathaway.
I move that we suspend the rules, and instead of dropping the bottom vote getter on the next ballot, that we drop all candidates that have 0 votes. In addition, 6 that are gender balanced also be removed on the next ballot. So basically,
Our parliamentarian wants to clarify what the motion is. Go ahead, Madam Parliamentarian.
Chair Fried, you said 6 by gender balance. Do you mean 3 and 3? Or do you mean 6 and 6?
No, 6 total. So 3 and 3 based on gender balance, in addition to anybody who has received 0 votes this round.
It's even on gender right now.
It's evenly split.
Yes.
So.
I'm so sorry. Hi, Brad Tunley, former parliamentarian for the city of Utah. I do have a question, parliamentary inquiry, for the chair, if she would. What happens? So that's assuming that that so few candidates get 0 that we can sustain 6 additional losses on top of that. What happens if we have 8 candidates who get 0 on this round? Do we have to eliminate those 6, or would they be eligible again on a subsequent round? So what happens if we?
So it's 4. So
it's down to 4.
0.
Right,
Wow.
but what happens? But what happens if 8 people get 0 and then we eliminate 4? Then we've eliminated 12 candidates of whatever's there. So the question is, so it's down to 4. Let's just say that of the remaining candidates, and I'm not doing math, so please correct my numbers on there. What if 8 candidates get 0? We eliminated an additional 4. Do we have, or 9 or whatever candidates get 0? We eliminated an additional 4. Do we have enough candidates remaining to elect a full slate? Yes. Even if they're all women who get 0, and then we eliminate based on that?
The motion was, as amended, was that we drop the 4 lowest performing candidates in the next round, 2 men, 2 women, as well as anyone who gets 0, for a maximum, why don't we say up to 4 gender balanced would get dropped along with 0, for a maximum of 6 people being removed in the next round. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because then we could still have a fulsome.
Every single person in this room is a better human being than Donald Trump. It's not even close. So I've been fighting against Trump this entire time. How did Trump change everything? He threw out the Bushes, he threw out Romney Ryan, he threw out their legacy of unpopular policies, and while we all know that's still the Republican Party and will always be the Republican Party, they have convinced the entire public that that's not, because rhetorically he threw them out. It was an incredible move of genius. Evil genius, but genius. If you paid a lot of attention to Trump 1, you know he's a bad guy. Every one of us in this room paid a lot of attention to Trump 1, and because we paid attention, we know he's terrible. But too many other Americans did not pay attention to the Trump years, except for when it was in it for them. And what it was in it for them was because of Barack Obama and the great policies he's had, that we were able to continue under Donald Trump, because he had to pass our budgets but for the tax cuts. We were able to continue the progress. People felt that progress. It was our progress, and he stole it, and we should never have let him steal it. Also the case in our last election, we ended up having, I wrote the book about trench warfare politics. Crypto means betting against America. Anyone who doesn't understand that cryptocurrency means that the dollar doesn't matter doesn't understand.
The rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as 1 male and 1 female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have 1 officer of the 3, so then we will know which position is filled of the 1 male, 1 female, and 1 vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the 3rd position that is remaining based on the 2 results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected. We're finding out ways to expedite this. Because of our gender balance provisions on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot. Okay? So on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot. If 2 candidates receive, I'm going to turn to Helen to clarify this last part.
You are in this next ballot where you have 2 votes. As the chair has said, you may vote for 2 males, 2 females, 2 of any gender, okay? Nope, you can't do that because we've got to balance. You could vote for 1 of any gender, okay? Or no, non-binary gender, excuse me. It is late, okay?